What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we should have a DC fandom every year. Now, this is, again, kind of just a fun little discussion video I had thought up. I had seen this floating around, with the year we've had, with the stuff that's gone on around the world. I've mainly talked about E3. I talked about, gaming conventions like that, and how they probably should just stay how they are. These state of plays from Sony, even the Xbox, game showcases and Inside Xbox, all that stuff. I mean, I think this has been probably better than what we would have gotten at E3. Yes, E3 does have the bigger announcements all in one go, but at the same time, and it's only one day. That's pretty much the biggest thing. It's 1, 2, 3 days. It's very jam-packed. Things get lost very, very easily. With the summer we've had multiple announcements throughout multiple months. For DC fandom, honestly, same kind of thing. Now, obviously, DC fandom is a little bit different. The movie industry, the TV industry, the comic, all this kind of stuff, obviously very, very different, even gaming, right? And you could have said, well, if specifically even maybe talking about video games, if E3 was still around this year, we would have gotten those two game announcements at E3. DC fandom wouldn't have even had. Now, maybe would they have only shown the trailers, and then would they have shown gameplay at DC fandom? Maybe. And that's honestly something to keep in mind, by the way, when we talk about the future. I really do think that this should return. I absolutely do. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that it will return next year. From what I've seen, there's been no, I haven't seen any rumors. I haven't seen any, confirmation that this is or isn't going to happen next year. But again, I really think it should. This has been, again, quite a year, and everything was kind of building up to this. Now, yes, it's only DC stuff. We still have actually a lot of game announcements, a lot of movie announcements from outside of DC that we're still waiting on, or we would also probably love for other people to copy DC fandom. I didn't think it was the most amazing thing in the world. I only watched Hall of Heroes. I didn't even go on the other ones. But let me tell you again, stepping back and looking at it, they did, I think, a phenomenal job. I really, really do. They did everything I think you could have expected for it. We had all the announcements. They had, I would say, something for everyone. I think that's important for an event like this, for an event like DC fandom. They absolutely, if you were going there for games, you got your games. If you were going there for movies, you got your movie announcements. Not only did you get movie announcements, but you got cast interviews, which, can be done kind of anytime. It doesn't have to be a DC fandom. You also got sneak peeks and trailers and concept art, and again, interviews with actors and actresses and all that stuff. If you're into TV, which I'll tell you, I'm not. Even specifically DC, I'm not into DC shows. I don't really watch any of them. But if you are, you also got, your worth out of this. If you're into art, if you're into comics, if you're into cosplay, you got it all in one event, which is outstanding. Now, again, it's all in one go, which is kind of my anti, what I don't want, right? Because of E3, same kind of thing there, right? So there are some, I would maybe want them to split it up maybe a little bit more, to not have it be, even from a personal standpoint, I was watching it and covering it and doing all the videos and on Twitter and all that stuff. I was doing it for 9 hours. Now, that's a normal work day, right? So I guess it's nothing. But a Saturday, 9 hours, really start to finish, just constantly, being into that DC fandom zone. It was hard, but at the same time, there's something exhilarating about it. There's something fun, even if you look at, the podcast now, what I did over the weekend, right? It was very successful for me. It was also a lot of fun. It was also pretty stressful and a lot of work. Not even just for me, too. So, there are definitely pros and cons to it, but I think if you can replicate this kind of thing every year, I think you do it. Now, here's what I'll say, though. I would not want them to do something going back again to E3 when a developer, a publisher, let's say a publisher, okay? Let's use Bethesda as an example. When a certain publisher goes to E3 and they say, okay, we have some huge announcements this year and we want a big stage to show it. And then they have to, because of whatever they did, contract-wise or whatever, they have to go back year after year after year, and it becomes very apparent that they should only maybe go there every once in a while. Not every year, every once in a while. That's what I don't want to happen here, okay? Now, would it happen here? No. And even with the movie industry, and again, movie, games, comics, TV, all this stuff, what's cool about it is I think it's a lot faster than things we see with gaming, okay? If you announce a big game, even look at the games we got at DC fandom. You got Gotham Knights and you got Suicide Squad. Now, say they did it next year. Well, if Gotham Knights is already out, maybe they could show Suicide Squad again, but that's say that's it. They may not have another game to show. Okay, I mean, that you don't want to force it, but at the same time, gaming-wise, that's a little weak. But still, you look at movies, you look at TV, you can keep doing it. You can talk about the next season of your show. You could talk, I'm sure there'll be more movies in development next year. I'm sure trailers that you couldn't do this year will be available next year. If they want to, even for like the Batman, we have the teaser. Next year they could do the full trailer. Black Adam, we got the announcement, but next year we could get the trailer. The Flash movie, we got talk, but next year we could see the trailer. Shazam, we got title, but you know what I mean? And you can do that every year. So again, a thing that's positive with movies, television, stuff like that is it's a lot faster, and things that weren't available this year could very well be available next year. The problem with gaming is that is not always the case. Sometimes, I mean, a game is in development for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. If you show it once, you may not be ready to show something massively better the year after. You know what I mean? Or you'd be forcing it, and maybe you're not going to get some quality out of there. So I think DC Fandom honestly has set itself up strong. I just wouldn't, again, talking about E3, my main worry with DC Fandom is I just wouldn't want it basically to feel forced. I don't want DC Fandom to feel forced. So if they come back for DC Fandom 2021, again, sign me up. If you want to do it a full day, another 24-hour live stream, fine. I will watch it. I will support it just like I did this year. At the same time, don't force anything. You know what I mean? Don't try to, if somebody doesn't have an announcement, don't put them in there to do it. In all honesty, again, this was an event kind of for everybody. For me, though, I didn't really care all that much about a lot of the talk. You know what I mean? I was there for the big reveals. And that's just me. That's just one person. Other people maybe there were to see a very specific thing. And again, I didn't even watch everything that there was to see. Okay, so I do understand that, but that's just kind of my main worry. Don't force anything to be there again, maybe if they're not ready to or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want next year, but if you can pull it off, if you can build the hype, if you can have the same kind of quality announcements, reveals, cast discussion, all the different stuff. If you can do that again next year, absolutely bring it back. Bring it back 2021. Bring it back every single year. And again, in all honesty, this event really, I think, is going to kickstart something. We've seen, even from gaming, all of the, again, like online shows that they've been doing. I think that is building up. We see EA, we see Ubisoft kind of copying what Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have done. For DC Fandom, do they do a Harry Potter fandom? Can we get a Marvel? And I know people have said, like, can we do a Marvel fandom, please? Like, these are cool ideas that actually would work for, I mean, if you did a Harry Potter fandom, that'd be so cool. It'd be very different, but it'd be so cool. If you did a Marvel fandom, oh my God, you know what you could do with that? It would be incredible. So this really has, I think, not only the potential to come back and the potential to be, bigger and better every year, but it's also, I think, kickstarted everybody else, maybe even copying it, which, by the way, when people do that, that means you got a good idea there. You know what I mean? If Marvel, if Harry Potter, if whatever, if you start seeing these fandoms like start popping up all around the world and for all these different properties, then you probably know that you hit the nail on the head and you have something with that idea, and then you should probably bring it back for the next time. So we'll have to see. Maybe over this week they say, hey, we looked at all the stats and my God, like it did absolutely insane. We're gonna bring it back next year. We'll have to see. Maybe even today they've announced it. So we'll have to keep our eyes open. But I would absolutely support this thing happening again. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Would you sign up for a DC Fandom every single year? What would you want to see at the next one? All those things, let me know. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video on this channel every single day. And so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.